Yes, subscribe. You always dey watch we program dem, but you no subscribe yet to we channel. All wetin you get for do, press this red subscribe button and then you come over here and press this bell. To the bell option, press this one with all. E don done. E no get for cost you anything. When you do this, na sign for show say you dey support we for make we do more. Thank you for we don help we for share this program. Yeah, God bless you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Farmer from the Ministry of Justice. Colleague in the Fourth Estate, good afternoon and welcome to this press briefing. We know we normally hold our weekly press briefings on Thursday, but today, like Emmanuel said, it is important that we meet and update the press on what's been happening as far as the implementation of the white paper is concerned. I'm sure we all are aware of the recommendations from the Commissions of Inquiry that was presented to His Excellency the President, which culminated in the putting together of a white paper that was issued by His Excellency the President. Content of that white paper has been explained to various stakeholders, by members of the Ministry of Information, the Minister, and all of us and the team from Stratcom. We've been going around the country explaining to people about the content of the white paper, what the recommendations are. Now we are at a point that we need also to inform the public through you, our esteemed colleagues in the media, on where things are as far as the implementation of the white paper is concerned. So we have called you here this afternoon. We have in our midst the Principal Legal Consultant in the Ministry of Justice, Attorney General, Minister of Justice's Office, Mr. Lahai Farmer is here with us this afternoon, and he will be talking to us later on because a lot has happened, since the implementation of the white paper started. So Mr. Farmer will update us on where we are with that. At this juncture, I invite Mr. Lahai Momo Farmer, Principal Legal Consultant in the Attorney General's Office. So please come up and update us on the progress so far with the implementation of the white paper.
I appreciate the Minister of Information, the able leadership of the Minister and the Deputy Minister of inviting me to be there. Let me also thank them very much. As you would like to know, or you are aware, that from the publication of when the government white paper together with the reports were published, they have engaged themselves making it popular all throughout the country, including the various regions. We are very grateful for that. Now, I'm here to give you updates as how Madam Minister has said the present status of the implementation process. I'm glad to report, as I've just said, that since the 24th of September, the Minister of Information has widely made the government white paper popular throughout the regions. And we too, in the law office, we have been engaged in making sure that we comply with the government instructions and directions in the white paper. The white paper is nothing other than the response that government gave after the commissions of inquiry had done their job, prepared their reports containing recommendations. Those recommendations are what government reacted to, completely under the directive of His Excellency the President. So the white paper contains one, others that gives direction as to what government response is, as for example, payment of money, 2, confiscation of properties, rare properties, and other assets that may not be land, which may be shares, etc., etc. Those orders or directives that we are giving also contain those that instructed certain authorities to do certain things. Say, for example, the Office of the Attorney General, we are supposed to take, for example, in the confiscation of properties, there were phrases used that this property is to be confiscated, is to be forfeited, is to be vested in the state. Those are instructions, directives that we, the law firm, should carry. There are others which other authorities should do. Say, for example, references were made a lot to both the Anti-Corruption Commission and to the Attorney General himself in his wing as the person who conducts criminal cases for further investigation. And lastly, can I say that there were also expectations that persons were aggrieved or who found that they were not satisfied with orders of the government. The law gives them right to appeal. Those appeals we have received about, as of Friday, 47 recorded with me, which we have to respond to. So in other words, what I want to say is that the implementation have 3 stages. The first stage, as we are calling it, implementation, is to how to carry out the directives of the government, particularly we in the law office. That should have started, and it is going on since the publication of the report and the white paper. We have now about 28 summonses that we are filing, that we allow the courts to order the confiscation, the forfeiture, and the revocation of all transactions that we are picked on, examined, relating to assets belonging to government and relating to assets that individuals unlawfully acquired government money to purchase. We have about 28 of that now ready to go into court. I'm sure by Wednesday we should start having those ones. It is not very difficult a task, as I could say. The reading is what is difficult. So the first implementation is the orders that we are giving to the Attorney General to carry. We are now about 60% done about that. The remaining is, I believe within the next 2 weeks, all those cases, 28 of them will be finished. Then the second aspect is the response that we have to make as law firm to the appeals that people are making. You know, why am I calling them people? Or like, let me say, aggrieved persons. Because some were not even targeted. They were not persons of interest to the commission, but they were collaborators whose names appeared on documents which we believe that they, by themselves and by their trades of work, they could not acquire such property. And there were very close relations to those persons that were the commissions had interest in investigating. So those appeals, as I'm saying, is the third stage of our work. We are going to respond to them. We have got about 47 of that recorded on my file here. We have also prepared our responses to the various grants. Some we are carrying 4 grants, others 5, others 3. So our responses are all now there, ready. We are waiting for, because Court of Appeal issues are not like High Court. When you want to go to Court of Appeal, your record, to settle your records. That involves all exhibits that we had in the commissions of inquiry had to be brought to the Court of Appeal registry. They have to be duplicated, sometimes 5 copies, according to the number of judges that will be sitting and the lawyers coming. So that involves a lot of work at the secretariat level. And I believe at this present stage, we have now a special room assigned to that, the residual commission registry, combined with the Court of Appeal registry. I left it about an hour back. That's easy photocopying them. So for our response, and even for those who have appealed to conduct their appeals properly, and for the judges, those exhibits are very necessary. They are important. They guide us together with the judgment itself, what I call the judgment, the report. It's not deemed to be the judgment of the High Court. All of those have to be multiplied. So in other words, moving from the implementation as well as in the early stages where directives that have been given to us as lawyers, we have to carry them out. We move again to the second stage, which is the appeals that we receive on those orders. We are now processing them. The third stage will be enforcement. See, there is a difference slightly between implementation of the orders and their enforcement. Everybody knows here, those who can read higher than I do, that when you read the white paper, you can see that there were people who were asked to pay money, sums of money to the state. And government, being very, very, very magnanimous, decided to give them 90 days grace period. Say we, the hardcore lawyers, when you are in court, you get a judgment and they say you should pay. As from the date of the judgment, you are supposed to pay. Am I correct? Assuming somebody, you enter judgment for $200,000, say today's date, when do you think your $200,000 will come to you? As from today. But the enforcement of you paying that money should not be today. Is that not so? Where should it be? If the court is reasonable, they can say pay within 1 month. So when do you think enforcement will start? After? Before. On the last day, the grace period ends. So on the 31st day, enforcement will come in. So that is the third stage. So we are not waiting, but time is going. Those who are supposed to pay money, some have started paying. I would advise to go and pay. If you have it, don't keep it. But when the enforcement comes, except otherwise, we have more of what we have seen before. But we have to make sure we get that money. If we cannot get it, if your house was not a subject matter of sale, we can make it a subject matter of sale. So don't allow the Lord to chase you. Go and pay within 90 days. Is that also? As from 24th of September up to, I have not calculated, don't misconstrue me, but I think something like 24th of December, Eve of Christmas. You should have paid that money. Though Christmas Day is a public holiday, we cannot enforce. But behold you me. If there is no Boxing Day, we should have done it. But the Christmas is carry Boxing Days. Am I correct? So if you want to enjoy your Christmas, you have that money, go and pay now. Some people have paid. I have their names. I'm not going to announce their names. But if you know you have that money to pay, go and pay. Some people are saying, let us wait for the appeals. What are you appealing against? Pay money. So I'm going to appeal. Yes, appeal. If you did not take any money, which they have asked you to pay, then your appeal will come. But when that 31st day reaches, we'll be chasing you. Whatever comes out of the appeal now should reverse what we have done. So I've just said we have 3 stages. Am I correct? First, we are implementing the directives as of now. Whether Anti-Corruption Commission has been instructed to do something, whether the law office has been instructed to do something, whether the Criminal Investigation Department has been instructed to do something from government, we have to carry it now. And we are carrying them. The second point will be our responses to the appeals. We have about 47 as of Friday. I don't know whether they are in the boxes of the Attorney General. When I get back, I'll find that one out. But realistically, we have 47 on records now, for which we have taken all the grants that are written down there in my file. Well, we are asking for information, but I don't see, people don't like lawyers. They don't visit them to gather information. They just write. If you want, I'm available at the law office, not in crowd. Mainly after 4 o'clock, somebody wants to know how many of these appeals are there. Well, we will not disclose to you, the content of them. We'll tell you after I'm saying 47, it might be 50 at the time we're going there. So, as of today, we are now in the process of implementing early implementation that we did not wait. Though you too, on the other side, if you have to pay, go and pay. Don't wait until we reach the other stage of enforcement. Lastly, the appeals we are now in the process of settling the records. They are photocopying them. So without wasting your times, may I stop here, expecting that if you have to clarify certain issues, I will do it before leaving.
Thank you very much, Mr. Farmer. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now invite questions from you. If you have questions or clarifications or any concerns, you can ask now. Mr. Farmer is here to answer to as many questions as you may have. So do we have questions? Yes. So once you're called upon to ask a question, press the microphone in front of you in case you have one, and then you can go ahead. Indicate your name and the media outlet that you are representing.
Okay. I'm Hassan Bishoko, my name is Confidentiality newspaper. Mr. Consultant, you mentioned that certain people have started paying. We want to know the amount of people that have started paying this money. Even though you guide that you are not going to give us their names, but we want to know how many people have started paying.
Okay, yes.
Ayodele Dinko is my name. I write for the exclusive newspaper. Mr. Farmer, you said that some people have started paying. We want to know how much have you received from these people? And secondly, how much the money, not the amount of people that have paid in total. We want to know how much have you received. And then secondly, we understand that some of your staff were chased in Makeni when they went to map out some of these properties belonging to former ministers. We want to know whether you were able to complete the mapping process and when are you going to visit the properties.
Okay, so we'll take one Mr. Farmer can respond.
Mr. Farmer, Henry Webanda Jopati, I write for Spectator newspaper. You make mention of certain dignitaries that have started paying, and you mention of the stages. I want to ask on the emphasis of the law enforcement, which is the third stage. Let's say if it reached to that level, is the government going to find a peaceful way of enforcing it, or it is going to be a brutal way of enforcing it?
Okay, thank you very much. So Mr. Farmer will respond to this first set of questions, and then we'll take the next set after.
Thank you very, very much. May I start from the last? When we reach that stage of enforcement, the word enforcement is not really carrying any meaning as we are calling it peaceful or brutal. It is the lawful way of demanding payment. If we cannot get it from you in cash, we can get it in some other form. It might be our properties, we taken from you of money. We have many people who have paid. I don't want to come to go through that, but I will encourage you, you who have friends, to tell them to pay. And the amount of money, they are not paying to us. We have opened a very special account under the Accountant General's direction, where payments are to be effected and receipts made available to the Attorney General. I can't tell you that I have the exact number of persons who have paid, but I know it's a lump sum they are paying. Somebody said that we have gone to Makeni to map out a property. Yes, it might be long before now. Those days when the commission was on, that was how we were able to go and make sure we locate those properties, and we make sure that we get their values, we make sure that we have their, pictures. Those were days. Now we are now going on paper. All the facts available to us, the conveyances, if any, the values, if any, as well as their schedules, which we will likely use in the courts of law. We have not gone there, but we are not hesitating to go there. When we are ready, we will be there.
Okay, thank you. Before we take the next set of questions, Mr. would like to add on.
Yes, so just to reinforce and reiterate a few things. Remember when His Excellency was taking official receipt of the Commission's report, the white paper at State House, he noted two important things that I'd like to re-emphasize. He did say that the white paper recommendations will be enforced to the fullest, and that anybody who stands in the way of the implementation will face the fullest force of the law. Right? So just to reiterate that, the government remains irrevocably committed to ensuring the full implementation of the approved recommendations in the white paper. And that is what consultant lawyer Farmer just averred to, just so that we all understand this. Right, thank you.
All right, we'll take another set of questions.
Francis from Political. We know the already endorsed recommendations of the COI are high court judgments, and considering the grace period given the process of it, if the era of recommendation comes and person of interest has already had filed an appeal, will that stall the enforcement of the recommendations? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Yes, just give the microphone to the man next to you. Yes, sir.
Mr. Farmer, I find it very, very unpleasant or unwelcome for you not to give out names of those who have started paying. Because the fact of the matter is, the COI, the process itself, have been very, very transparent right from the start. And up to this point, we all know the names of those who are indicted, the reports and the white paper, and it is but of public interest. And public interest here, in my view, far outweighs, whatever reason you have for keeping those names. And that's the big news. So I wonder why you actually want to conceal that information. Again, the appellant, you said that you have received about 47 appeals so far. Can you give us names of some of these appellants?
All right, thank you.
I'm James Manuel. I write up in Lattest newspaper. I have two questions in one place. Mr. Farmer, will there be any special courts to be assigned for these civil rights trial? And have anti-corruption courts and have sexual offences court. Will there be any special courts for this one specific trial? And also, just as what my friend said, we need the names of people who have started paying for transparency's sake, because we are journalists, we need to inform the public. Because when the CBI trial was going on, it was the public. All of us were there, we listened to it, and we listened to some of these guys. So if some of them have started paying, I think we need names of them.
Thank you very much. We'll take one more. Okay, well, so in the absence of any more questions, Mr. Farmer, let's go ahead and resolve.
Sorry, I think you might have misconceived my not giving you the names of those who have paid by saying that it is unpleasant. You see, I'm a lawyer. I don't want to give you a name. Probably that may not be the name that you will want, and it is not be known to us. It is done to a special account. We receive receipts. Some are schools or colleges, universities, you can call them. I have said, you are journalists. News is very expensive in the market. Sometimes you have to endeavor to obtain those permissions, like government calling you for us to give you the type of information you want. I've given you the authority that you can individually, not in the form of crowd, go to the registry of the Court of Appeal. Those are public documents. You can get names of those who have appealed. Then you wait for me to come and list what I've done for my homework to give you. They are all public documents. Even those who have paid, they did not pay in secret to us. just pay openly to the accountant general. There is a special account. Sometimes you have to use some effort to get this information that you have to send back to us. I buy this paper every day. The other aspect that is interesting is that whether we'll be having a special court. You know, I don't know whether we go establish that tribunal calling it special. That is why everybody is calling a court to be special. A high court is one high court of Sierra Leone. Court of appeal is one court of appeal of Sierra Leone. We don't have to add any special thing to it. And I don't have the authority, but I believe that the Chief Justice, knowing the amount and volume of work, may give us practice direction apart from the rules of court as to how to carry them out. Because having, as I was secretly informed by my minister, my record is 7, but I think the CJ have said they have got 58. 58, yeah. So, you know, volume of that. Even one appeal in this country, know what it means. We cannot rush into them. We have to set records. We have to make sure that persons who are really aggrieved transparently see justice occurring to them. And those who also did injustice to us, let them witness that they are going to pay for those injustices. I'm afraid that answer to the question of having a special court. No, let us not have a special court. We can set a judge, a panel aside, a panel aside of the same court of appeal, not special. Not like the one we are talking about, sexual penetration, no. There is one court of appeal. We can have 3 sets of panels, if the CJ so desire, or 5. We are willing and ready to carry on. I hope I have not left anyone out. If there is anyone, can I be reminded? Sorry, there's a very important one. Somebody was saying, before the enforcement of the monies to be paid, if that person has appealed, whether that appeal can stop us enforcing. You know, sorry, you are not lawyers, but some lawyers do not understand that when you appeal does not mean it is a stay of execution of my judgment. May I put that one rightly? That an appeal does not lie as a stay of execution of judgment. Mr. Patrick was to receive his $200 million, $20,000, let him $200 million, $20,000 as of 21st of September. And this man is not willing to pay. And he decides that I will wait until the 28th day, then I will go and appeal. Don't you believe that that payment, Mr. Judgment Creditor wants it now? Why do you have to put a stay? To do what? To prohibit the man enjoying from the benefit of his judgment. In fact, when you go for a stay, let me tell you, you may not be lawyers, except you show special circumstances why this judgment creditor should not benefit from his judgment. If that circumstance is not special, as we are calling a special court, that we allow the judges to say, yes, this man, he has to pay this money, but he has been taken under bankruptcy. So let us not enforce it now. Or, in fact, we heard that he has died yesterday. So your estate will be taken care of now. But the court, not just you go there and say, I have an appeal like our colleagues do. When they lodge the appeal, if it's a stay of execution, I can still pursue my enforcement until the court of appeal says otherwise. Thank you very much. I know that.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Farmer.
This is law for Larry.
Final set of questions. Do we have more questions? Clarifications?
This is actually exclusive today for progress with implementation of the approved recommendations of the white paper.
Exactly.
We have a million other things to talk about.
So on Thursday again,
we don't want this one to get drowned, to be eclipsed by the other things that are also begging attention.
Okay, so there's one more question. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Mr. Farmer, Jabati again for Spectators. I want to still insist, and to the line of colleagues, that when this COI commission was in progress, everything was out over the television, on social media, places that are to answer questions we are openly shown.
Excuse me, sir. If
yes,
you have something, but I think Mr. Farmer has made some effort to answer the question.
Yes.
So if you have anything different from that,
yes, yes, I will soon lay my lines to fear. So what I'm saying is that Mr. Farmer and the Office of Ministry is coming for, they have the right to ask the Accountant General that we want names of those that have paid. Because he said that they are not paying to them, but they are aware that these people are paying. And they are doing it openly to say you have to account for this. So why now Mr. Farmer and others that are responsible are not, or they not want to ask how which people have paid and how they have paid? I think Mr. Farmer get to ask, and they have the right to that list.
Right, thank you very much.
Please, we want to insist that we have names of those that have paid. Because we don't want to be getting false rumors on social media.
Thank you very much. Mr. Farmer also encouraged you to move beyond this point, to do some, information gathering exercise. But again, Mr. Farmer is a man from the law officers, so I would not want to prejudice or say anything other than what he has already said. But the minister will also
let me also weigh in on this.
Yeah.
This is becoming a very interesting debate. I remember previously when COVID-19 struck, there was the issue around confidentiality, non-confidentiality. You remember that debate? Yes, to publish or not to publish. So I think the concerns are becoming very legitimate. They really are. Yeah. But the appropriate moment, we will disclose the names of those persons and institutions that are paid thus far. I think it's legitimate. We started a very transparent process, and this is a very defining hallmark of this administration: transparency and democratic accountability. For the very first time in the history of our country, we conducted commissions of inquiry in open air, transmitted live on both radio and TV. Nobody intimidated, nobody embarrassed, with councils for persons of interest having a fair chance to defend themselves, make their depositions. So at this very material point, we will, at the most appropriate point, publish the names of institutions and persons who have cooperated with the white paper recommendations thus far. I think that should quench your thirst for information around this. But it's a very legitimate concern. Thank you. He's a lawyer, he can't. I mean, this is a decision like always go around and we'll talk about it. We will publish that at a very appropriate moment. Thank you.
All right.
At a very appropriate moment. I have a very guarded. Yeah, thank you.
Any more questions?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes.
So we'll take two more.
Mr. Farmer, you just said that some of the appeal matter will start very soon. When are we expecting them to start, and how many of them will you be taking?
Yeah, asking about how many, when, and how. I think I have just given a number which I was advised by my minister that instead of my 47 that I have here, the records in the Court of Appeal are showing 58. As to when, you see, sometimes I'm a very conservative buyer. Anything we do is a deal for a long time, God willing. If I say tomorrow, I'll be lying, because one, we have to set records of all those 58 appeals. Settlement of records means every ground that anybody appeals upon, where there is an exhibit, that exhibit will certainly be made available to the court and to the other parties. So assuming 58 multiplied by how many exhibits that will be processed, it will cost us 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, depending upon the technology they have at the court registry. And the issue about court trial, except it is very stupid. You cannot predict it. You can show period within which it can go. Sometimes you go to court, either the bench is not ready or you are not ready, somebody over there is not ready. You know, so conservatively I would say this is going to get the highest time expedition. We are going to do it expeditiously because we believe that 58 appeals, there are so many people that are interested, both nationally and internationally, to see how we are going to carry this democratic process to an end. I'm very proud of the commission. I'm very proud of its implementation. And I'm very proud that appeals are now available. Before now, when they say this is the order from the Commission of Inquiry report or the white paper, it was not appealable. It has never been. Sometimes when you go through the legal processes for it to become appealable, but we are encouraging it. The law has encouraged it. So as to when notices will be going out, you have friends who are appealing, they will inform you, or probably the judiciary would like to come. They have a public relations officer. They can come out to tell you people, but we don't have to. We are lawyers, just like any student in school. We are also taking our exam together with the private lawyers. We cannot face what the judges will say, when and how. Yeah? But when it's ready, the trial is not going to be in secret. It's going to be open.
Okay.
Want to see your question?
Okay, I think it's two. So we'll just take the final.
Thank you very much. I am Patrick Van, the producer at Redeemer Radio Network and Television. Now, the Honorable Minister had just said that in due time you're going to make known those that have started paying and the amount, but in our job, time and accuracy is very important. Now, some of us, we want to report the story very accurately, and we wouldn't want to wait because there has not been a specific time mentioned by the Honorable Minister. But those of us that would want to go to you, Mr. Farmer, for this information, what's the assurance that we wouldn't tell us go and come back because we have to report it? What's the assurance that you're going to give us that this information we're going to access it, that when we get to you, that you are not going to tell us, go and come back later, I am all that kind of stuff. So we just need that assurance. It's very important. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Just take one more question. Final one.
Now we agree that you don't want to tell you the names of people who have paid. But you want the information to go out. I'm sure you want to tell us the number of people who have paid, because you want people to know that yes, they are indictees operating the government decision. But please tell us the number of people who have paid. If you're not telling us the amount or the names of people who have paid, please tell us the number. I think this makes a bigger news than tell people that people are cooperating without knowing who are cooperating. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We have more questions.
No, this cannot be.
Okay, so that's the final question. I'll let the minister say something before we come over to Mr. Farmer.
Yeah, so advocacy of care for my people who appear at government press conferences. It has been very gracious. It has given you the ways you can access information just in case you need them as at yesterday, right? I'm also assured we'll give you the information at the appropriate moment. Let us accept that and move forward. I know you guys are very quintessential journalists. There are many angles to various stories you might take today. That cannot be the only angle. You know that. Yeah. So please be with us. Hopefully at the next meeting when we'll be discussing the commissions, we will give you a lot more than you require.
Sorry, sir. Don't feel we are concealing. We are not concealing. I believe in accuracy. I don't want to give you a number, then you go and expand it or you contract it. I know what the person is. I've been very close to it for the past years. I want to give you names as well as the number. If you want now, you do your calculation. But I've told you that I don't have the brief here. You know, I was just coming from a small class that I'm having with my interns. And the minister really told me Friday that I'll be calling upon you at any moment. Well, you know, but I was just, told by the AG, so I said, I'm coming. I love to share, this information.
I appreciate your honor.
You see?
It also slipped me.
You
But
see?
a deputy, about 12 o'clock, so look, the press conference, I thought it was 2. So I called him after 12 o'clock to the airport.
If you are here to share with me, I will tell you the number of appeals we have received. The documents are here. My upgrade function is what I'm saying, please, you two try to add some effort to your money that you're getting.
You don't want to sacrifice accuracy at the on the grounds of expediency. You say, they gave us the wrong figures. He's asked to be allowed to get, yes, I remember when we were doing selective, it's on speed and accuracy. But I also remember, now that I'm grown up, that it's better to spend a day longer to get the accurate information than to rush to press with inaccuracies. I mean, it impinges on your own integrity as well as ours. And many of you have struggled over time to build the credibility of your good selves and your institutions, right? So nobody will die if we get information tomorrow or any other day. Let us be patient. It's very important. Well, sure, I'll remove the door so you'll not close it.
Those who are friends of mine, they know me very well. I don't even shut my door. Then secondly, I don't just want somebody to be too lazy. When you're looking out for money, you have to be energetic. We are all praying. We are still praying that I think after the minister's very big goal that he has scored for you people, we are begging that let you be paid. Yeah? No, what I'm saying, journalists are not to be paid. Yeah? By their various institutions. Please, you two add some effort. We'll disclose that to you. It's not a secret, but I don't want to be very inaccurate. Coming to show you number that was by every day today things are growing up. Like I'm saying, for 47, minister has advised me, and I accept. But if you go to the court registry now, you can get the updates. If you go to accountant general, they can give you an update. But if you want me to do it for you, I will please allow you to just give me 24 hours. I will get that ready. If I don't want you to see me, I will call my ministers and give them the figure by telephone. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please be reminded that we have our usual press briefing on Thursday, so please make sure you're here at 1 o'clock so we can share with you information that will be useful for onward transmission to the public. So thank you very much.
Yes, subscribe. You always dey watch we program them, but you not subscribe yet to the channel. All wetin you get for do, press this red subscribe button, and then you come over here and press this bell. To the bell option, press this one with all. E don done. E no get for cost you anything. When you do this, na sign for show say you dey support we for make we do more. Thank you for we don help we for share this program. Yeah, God bless you.